loving God.
Okay. Jordans on, you know what I'm saying?
You're trying to steal sneakers, right?
Yeah. Everybody be coming in with
You
they.
come stop with some sneakers. You might.
Might not leave with them.
Jamal Fake Lee, BlackTree TV.
Give me those sneakers.
Don't be going into that Mr. Wrong.
I got to steal them, and then I divorced myself. Yeah.
I mean, what a great picture. Like, when I went into this, I didn't know that it was blending the musical, and somehow I missed the musical. All I have in my canon is the first movie. So I was trying to figure, and I fell in love with it. I needed it at the moment. I didn't know how much I needed the movie. How did it feel to play this? Because both of you guys have done a lot on film, but also a lot on the stage. How did it feel to see this be remade and to bring those two worlds into one with this one?
It feels like it's an incredible hybrid of, like, it's been handed off from the book to the film to the musical, and now it lives in this other beautiful place that is that Blitz, our beautiful director, he visualized and gave Celia an imagination. The way it moves with music, it's not the musical, because I think like we cut like half the songs. There's new songs in it because it needs to be breathed life into for now, and how it appeals to audiences, and how what questions we have about family, generational trauma, toxic masculinity, love, all the complex ideas about love, about worthiness and finding your voice and owning your power. It's all these things that feel brand new and fresh, but it's appealing to us. And these artists, we're on this journey right now to create this thing that we hope really, and we can tell already, people are truly responding to, and feel like it's like, this is me, this is what, I can't articulate what I've been feeling, but now I have words and a visual language for it.
And I mean, how important is it when you're doing something like this? Do you go back and do you talk to Danny Glover? Do you talk to William Pugh? Do you talk to these characters that played it before? Does that matter at all in preparing for a role when you're doing this, or is it what's on the page? And
I like to say that just, I think any artist who wants to build a character that they're going to own, I think it's important to sort of divorce yourself from versions before. Because then, otherwise, you're living in the shadows of something. There's other. Am I right?
I think that's very right.
There's something that's hanging over you that will be impossible to achieve. It's like things that have happened. Like Oprah told us the other day how she came up with that. You know, sitting here in that jail when Spielberg asked her to improv. That came from her soul. So what's going to come out of Danny's soul, Danielle Brooks' soul? It's got to be something new. It can't be what Oprah did. She had to find her Sophia. He has to find his Harpo.
I think you talk to the character. You know, you talk to the spirit of what Alice Walker wrote in that book. I think that we both went back to the source material, and we had conversations with the characters, and you listen sometimes to that versus your idea of what your interpretation of what you think someone else might have done with that role and where you were when you saw that thing. It's just a new version for a new generation and a new time, and that's the power of her work, is that it's lasted this long. It can sustain and hold so many different reimaginings, you know, and that means a lot.
And last question, I know you also doing the piano lesson with Sam Jackson and Denzel and JD. Is this a new era with Tragedy and Macbeth and Ma Rainey's Black Bottom? Is this a new era of our film that we're bringing all this stage into this hybrid world of film and stage now?
Well, I think so, but I think, you know, it's beautiful when we could, because we are still students of the theater. You know, I come from the theater. That's and I will go back to it whenever I can. But to have this hybrid is amazing, because there's a lot of great work in the canon for Black artists that exists, and it allows us to challenge ourselves in new and fascinating ways. And Blitz is talking about this evolution of cinema and how, you know, Black cinema is being defined right now, actually. And there was a period where Black cinema was being sort of shaped and then sort of fell off, and we're trying to figure out what that is. We have jazz, we have, you know, art, we have all of these other mediums, but cinema is interesting. And I think right now there's a great, excellent group of artists who are all interested in the same thing, the same goal, and it's great to just be able to have these like-minded artists to go on that journey with. So I'm glad that that we are kind of melding and finding what that is. I'm glad August Wilson's voice is reaching more people than can afford a Broadway, $300 ticket, around the world. And so that's a beautiful thing.
And I'll also add that, I think that we're now at a place and part of our evolution in this industry where we are not just asking sort of gatekeepers to tell our stories. We're telling our stories.
That's right.
We're financing our stories. We're producing our stories, saying these stories matter. And that's why I think we're seeing, and also what language we can handle, what we believe we can handle. You can handle Piano Lesson or Ma Rainey's Black Bottom or something like Rustin, directed by a legendary theater director. We can totally handle that because we're saying we know we can. We don't have to dumb down our stories. We can sit with and love language, and we can find our visual language and how we tell story. Yeah. That is a really powerful point in our evolution in cinema and finding our place, like Corey said.
We're lucky to have you, man. Thank you guys for the time. You guys are shining on the screen and doing your thing, man. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, man.
Good to see you always.
Colman Domingo.